Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, we are back. Everything is weird, but eventually will be normal again. We've been gone for what feels like a month. I think it's been about a month.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that have happened since we've been gone. Fantastic Four came out. We saw that. Micah, your thoughts? It's kind of a big movie that we never had a chance to talk about.
It is a big movie that we never had a chance to talk about. But I really quickly want to talk about something. It won't take long because it was only 4 episodes. It's called Eyes of Wakanda. It's on Disney.
Okay.
And it's the animated feature anthology about like various stories within Wakanda at different time periods. It's really good.
I've not watched this.
Yeah, I don't blame you because like Disney did nothing to promote it.
Yeah, none.
But it's really good. There are 4 half-hour episodes, so you can just breeze right through them. Really good animation, some really good storyline. There's one with a former Dora Milaje, and she has to hunt down and capture a rogue Wakandan. There's another one where there is a Wakandan that is working with Achilles during the Trojan War.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. There's another one with some of the Wakandan like special ops are called like war dogs, and one of the war dogs has to infiltrate Kunlun, and
interesting. Okay.
And Iron Fist is there, right?
Cool. Is this like really far in the past, or?
Yeah, this is like ancient, right? So you wouldn't recognize who this Iron Fist is.
Okay, so they light bulbs didn't exist, so their hands probably
right.
That's the only reason I asked. Go ahead.
And there's another mission that is like time travel based, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the last one. So it's really good. I don't think I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I haven't heard
Not really.
Like even like the black creatives that I follow, not a lot. And look, I get it. It came out at a weird time. It debuted August 1st. So, people were still high on Superman, high on Fantastic Four and stuff like that. But go back, sit there for, 2 hours and enjoy some good animation. It's really good. It's really fun. It's fun being in that world.
Is the animation similar to any of the other Marvel animated stuff, or is it totally different?
No, I think it's pretty unique. The designs look great. Animation is fluid. Fight choreography, particularly in the one with the Iron Fist, is really well done. Cool. Yeah, man, check it out. It's really good. It's really fun. And look, if you want to see stuff like that, right? We keep harping on if for some reason you are into the proliferation of black people in this type of media, you should watch it.
There you go. It's not hard to understand.
So, Fantastic Four came out, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
No.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Biased.
I mean, look, I'm a little biased, but I'm not going to just say, oh, it's the best Fantastic Four movie ever, because that is damning with faint praise, right? Like, right. Look at the 3 that came before it. That's right, I said 3. The one that wasn't released and the 2 Tim Story movies.
Oh.
Those are the 3.
Interesting.
It felt like, there was a lot of Kirby tributes in that movie.
Sure.
And it felt like a Jack Kirby movie. right? Like it felt like a mix between like what the old MCU used to do and something fresh and slightly fresh and different, right? Given the setting and the time period and just the feel of it, right? Cast is amazing. I think they all pretty much knocked it out of the park. My biggest worry was Pedro Pascal. I think he did a good job. I don't feel like he brought anything to that particular version of Reed Richards that someone else couldn't.
Okay, that's fair.
But I think what he did was very good because he's a very good actor. Yeah, man. What did you think of it?
So I really enjoyed it. I did. The theater I saw it in, and you and I talked about this because you and I saw Weapons together, and I pointed out something. It's like it is when a movie has like when the audio has like bass that kind of hits you in the chest type of thing, and it's properly calibrated. That makes a massive difference. And I did not have that in the Fantastic Four screening that I saw it in, unfortunately. I'm like slowly but surely trying to find the right theater here that doesn't fucking suck. And so I have to pay, these like premium prices, which is fine. I don't mind. So I didn't get what I would argue is the full experience of that movie. That's not the movie's fault. I think that's the theater's fault. I agree with you. It's a very Jack Kirby feeling film. It ironically it makes like the way the Thing dresses with like the with the kind of the fedora and the big overcoat or whatever. In that world, it makes more sense. Like people don't really dress like that in the modern era, so it is always kind of stands out as very strange. But in this like 1960s techno future kind of retro feel, it actually made sense. Like it's not a big, that's not a big sort of issue I have in the other movies. It's just kind of like a little point I like to make. So I like the time frame and that sort of world in which they live in. I thought it was fun. There's a thing about this movie that is very interesting to me that I think poses an interesting situation going forward, like in Doomsday and everything else, when these characters mix with the other sort of standard MCU characters, which is their humor in the way that they talk is very much of their era. Like if you listen to the way Johnny and Ben sort of needle at each other and joke around with each other, it doesn't have the same comedic timing and comedic feel that MCU movies have, or even the Tim Story movies have, right? Which is just a more modern, fast-paced way of talking, sarcasm and stuff like that. They don't talk like that. And I think, like, I don't know if people notice that, and I think, like, when you're in that world, you're just in that world. But, like, go back and watch that movie and just notice just the way in which they speak to each other feels very different, right? And I think it's on purpose. I think it's totally on purpose. Because people just didn't have snappy, sarcastic ways of talking in the same way that we talk now, right? So that'll be interesting to see how those mix. I hope they make a point of that. Like, okay, you guys they're a little bit drier. Like they just are. That was the thing I noticed about the character interactions, sort of with Ben and Johnny specifically, like right away. I really like the cast a lot. I agree. Reed's portrayal was fine, like not bad, but yeah, I didn't get any like, whoa, okay, this is like a hell of a performance. Which is odd for Pedro Pascal because he's normally like he's a charisma machine in just about anything he's in. Like he really is. But I think that's because they were largely, and I'm not making excuses for Pedro Pascal at all, but I think they largely were leaning on what's her face as Sue.
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah. Vanessa Kirby, like I think they were really leaning on her for like a lot of heavy lifting, as far as emotional heavy lifting, which I thought was a smart play because it actually differentiates this Fantastic Four from the previous ones that we've seen, which is I'm Reed, I'm leading the way, Father knows best sort of perspective, and she does show that she's probably the most powerful of the four of them. I did like that they played Reed a little bit like, hey, I'm really smart, and I'm also willing to do things that are kind of fucked up, right? Like, hey, you're going to just put your baby up for bait? Like, that's fucked up, right? And then Sue calling him out on it, right? Not calling him a bad guy by any means, but like, yeah, you already have a solution to this problem, you fucking piece of shit. Why don't you just admit it, right? Type of thing, which I thought was good. I like the interaction between the four of them. I think, personally, having a actually, let me say before this, Galactus and Silver Surfer looked great. They looked great, period. End of story. People were like, I don't know if can a girl be a Silver Surfer? Oh my God, I'm so upset. No, you weren't. She looked dope, and the effects looked great. I forget that actress's name.
End of Act 1. The end of Act 1 in the movie. Well, by the way, I think the movie starts out phenomenally and then gradually like goes down a bit, right? I think the movie starts off as good. At the end of Act 1, I'm like, oh my fucking God, like this is amazing, right? And then it kind of goes back down to just being a good movie again, right?
Yeah, I could tend to agree with that. Like the third and sort of final sequence is not as impressive, and this is actually a perfect segue. The second action beat, having the Fantastic Four trying to escape Galactus in an event horizon in space has got to be one of the coolest fucking action sequences I have ever seen in the MCU fucking period. It's just, it looked amazing. And I could not have been simultaneously happier and excited to see that and angry that I did not get that fucking hard-pounding bass in that scene, because that scene should have been loud and super fucking audibly intense, right? And I'm sure that it was. Mine was like it was just like, come on, man, turn it up, bass, crank the bass up a little bit. So that was unfortunate for me personally, but just having them escaping an event horizon was just, I mean, that is some Fantastic Four shit. Like that was very fucking cool. I really liked
it was like. The whole movie was like reading a comic, right? Like a Fantastic Four comic specifically, because the Fantastic Four, if you read their comics, it's not a lot of like splash pages full of action, right?
No.
Like it's a lot of like sitting around and talking and trying to figure things out, and it's a drama, right?
Yeah.
And that's what this movie felt like. Yeah, because I know one of the complaints was it didn't have a lot of action. And I get it, especially because, you know, the that sequence that you're talking about with the Fantastic Four with the Silver Surfer chasing them, right? And everything is tense, right? Like Ben, I love that Ben is like highly competent at his job, right? He's just not like a big galook, right? I love that Johnny he's smart, but he knows he's not but his brother-in-law is the smartest man in the world. So there's a little bit of insecurity there, and it's just like, well, I gotta feel like I'm contributing, right? Like I love Vanessa Kirby's Sue in that she's trying to balance everything, right? Like she's preggers, right? She's about to have a baby, and she's got to keep these three dudes in line, and it just
save the world.
And save the world. But like
message, do moms do enough, you fucking heartless bastards? Help your wives.
and yeah, everything about it. But that particular scene was so great that like everything else was like, if you were expecting a lot of that, yeah, you didn't get it. And so I understand the complaint, but
I would have swapped those scenes. Like that should have been like, instead of them going there to escape Galactus, like I'm fine with them meeting Galactus like face to face. I actually thought that was really dope. In that sort of second action beat, like they go and he's like, look, give me that fucking kid, I'm gonna eat that kid type of shit. And then they're just like, all right, fuck off. We're not doing that. And they escape, and it's just like not a big deal. Or, they go and then they come back, right? And they're like, all right, this is what's happening. We tried to negotiate with him. It didn't work, right? And maybe they have a tussle with the Silver Surfer or something. But I would have loved if at the third act, they take on Galactus. He comes to Earth. They fucking beat him back or whatever. And they're like trying to get him off world, and then they end up in this like trying to dump him into the event horizon, and that's the like last action sequence. Because that like when that happened, I'm like, nigga, where are we going from here? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we're going back to this Earth? This sucks. Like, go back to space. You're doing dope shit. So I would have switched those a little bit, but yeah, I mean, arguably, I can't wait for this to come out on digital because I can't wait to see that scene. Again, it just looks so goddamn good. It's really impressive.
I'm so very curious about that world that they're in, and I'm afraid we're not going to ever see it again, because that world, the Fantastic Four were like, hey guys, I know you want us to sacrifice our baby, but we're not going to do that. How about instead the world just come together to defeat this existential threat? And they were like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, they live in a world, it's not just idealized in the like, hey, it's 1950s, 1960s, martinis at lunch type of shit. It's not just that. They live in a world where there are superheroes that solved all the problems. Yeah.
They're like, hey, there's Mole Man, fuck out of here. And he's like, all right, I'll help you guys now. Like, there's, Red Ghost, who unfortunately got cut from the movie. I would have loved to see John Malkovich's Red Ghost. That could have been fun. Like, hey, I got, like, my crazy apes or whatever. They're like, get the fuck out of here. Like, defeated. Like, there isn't anything that has come up that they weren't able to defeat and improve the world. That is completely antithetical to what we've seen in the larger MCU, which is like, heroes will rise, and then it gets worse because there are then villains who come up and make even bigger threats, and that's just constantly piling on top of each other sort of scenario. Right? That's like a Batman villain kind of situation. But in this world, they're like, nah, we became superheroes, and then we just fixed everything. You're welcome. So how do they then live in the mainline MCU where it's like, why don't we just fix everything? It's like, oh shit, that's not possible because there are an infinite amount of problems, and there is seemingly an infinite amount of heroes and villains to match them. So that'll, again, the movie creates a lot of good questions for them in the context of the larger MCU.
The problem is, I don't think any of those questions will be answered, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think...
I hope you're wrong, but, I mean, yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much just going to be like, hey, that was them, okay, now they're here, and... I don't know. I'm curious, though.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Look, he was there. He was there. He didn't say anything.
Good.
And yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm still very trepidatious, right? Like, I know I said I was going through those stages of grief, and now I'm at acceptance. I mean, I'm at acceptance just because, like, I have to be. I'm not. I want to be. I'm going in very cautiously, and
as you should.
And but yeah, the mid-credit scene, he was there. Old powerhouse Franklin Richards is, he brought his mom back to life, right? So that to illustrate this kid's power. And then they show him, they show Doom there in the mid-credit scene,
beating up a kid
in his hand, with his mask in his hand, having this little kid, this little 4-year-old, feel his face. And my God, I hope he's not healing his face. I really hope he's not, because I don't want to see Robert Downey Jr. just walking around without a mask on. I really don't, man. I really don't.
I would love it. I would love it if he has the scar where it's just like, he's so arrogant that was so terrible for him, and then he's like, let me have this kid fix my face, and then Franklin fucks it up worse. Like, that would actually be great. Like, now you have a melted face. Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't want to see his face, man. I don't want to see his face at all. And I'm afraid, like, you're paying this dude like what, $80 to $100 million. I'm afraid he's gonna want to see. I'm afraid he's gonna want to be seen. We need more actors like Hugo Weaving who are willing to just put on a mask and just like be that. But
that's the one thing. Like, it's hard to imagine that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be like, I don't want you to see all the moneymaker, right? Like, that's hard to imagine. It really is. The only way, I think the only way I wouldn't mind seeing him is if it's background story of like, here he is, like, as a college student, and like this is him and Reed working together and blah blah blah. However, whatever that story they come up with, I'm fine with that. Like, that's totally fine before he becomes Doom. The second he puts on that cloak and that mask, that's it, right? This is the man in the iron mask, so to speak. You put that shit on, put a fucking padlock on the side of it, and it never comes off to the day you die. I don't want to see your face.
He's got a mouth grill that lowers when he eats, dude. Like, because he doesn't take the shit off.
Oh, really? What a fucking psycho. What an absolute psycho.
He doesn't take it off, yo. Like, he doesn't. So
does it get hot in there?
He's got a cooling system in there.
Nah, yo, he stinks. Yo, he in there baking like a fucking hot dog. That's just gross.
Look, I did a terrible cosplay of Dr. Doom once. I was sweating my ass off. Bro.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No, that was a damn good cosplay, except for your gloves, which we spray painted the day of, and you literally got them on. What's the artist from Marvel? Oliver Coipel, right? The black dude who is an artist from Marvel. You shook hands with him, and then you got silver paint on him and on his forehead.
He was making fun of my shitty ass cosplay, so I was like, all right, well, guess what? You got the mark of doom now, so get the fuck out of here.
No, the cosplay was super solid. The gloves, they needed work, definitely. That shit was hilarious. I had spray paint on my sidewalk for like a week and a half because of it. It was a classic moment. But yeah, I think if we're gonna see his face, it's got to be sort of prequel type of shit. And then after that, like how they did with Thanos, right? Like, give him his story, right? Like, that's why Infinity War worked so well, and you gave a shit so much about that character, because Infinity War was basically his story, right? It was just interlaced throughout that movie. And then, like, and then I put on the mask. That's it. We're done. Like, just more even than his face that I'm concerned about is what is the personality play for him? Because I don't want him to be like Tony. I want him to be totally fucking different.
He's got to be. He's got to be if you're able to. Look, I think Robert Downey Jr. can pull it off.
100%.
But I think he's gonna like put on a weird accent, and I think he's gonna. I don't know because it depends on who's writing Doom. Right? Doom could be like a corny ass mustache twirling villain, or he can be the most charismatic, arrogant prick, or it depends. So I'm very curious to see how this happens, but I'm not going in with a full-throated endorsement just yet.
It's a weird choice of words.
Hey, Snoop. Hey, Snoop, chill out, bro.
Yeah. How am I going to explain this Micah's endorsement of Dr. Doom? Very strange to my grandson. I'm weird. Just a really good movie. Really, really good. I mean, again, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, two bangers in a row, in my opinion. Thunderbolts, I believe, is out on digital or coming to digital pretty soon here.
It's coming to Disney Plus soon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you haven't watched Thunderbolts, you fucking should. But yeah, fun times. All right. I have not finished this, but I've watched a bit of it. Alien Earth. This was fun so far. I'm really enjoying this. Some review called it the Andor of the Alien franchise, which was all I needed to hear to pique my interest. I don't know that I would put it quite there, but it's really, really fun. I'm having a really good time with this.
I watched the first 3 episodes. Episode 4 is out, so I wanna watch that after we hopefully before the kids get home. But man, I told you I've been sleeping on the Alien franchise, man. I really have. Prometheus was my first Alien movie, and I'm like, what is the big fucking deal?
Yeah,
like
not good.
Why is Idris Elba talking like this? Like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Why is he a character from King of the Hill? I don't like this.
Right. I watched the first episode of that too.
I heard it's very good.
Anyway, it was pretty good. But look, yeah, my first Alien movie was Prometheus, which do not recommend.
No,
I still haven't gone back and watched the original Alien, but my second Alien movie was Aliens, because y'all kept telling me to watch it.
It's the best one.
And yeah, it's amazing how much that movie copied Halo.
Right. They stole all the things.
They stole everything from Halo. No, Halo lifted shit directly from like if I was James Cameron, I'd have been like, yo, what the fuck is up with this, man?
Yeah, they're like, we're going to make a Halo TV show. Why? Why?
Right.
Who cares?
But yeah, man, and I'm like, okay, I've really enjoyed Aliens. I really enjoyed it. So I was like, all right, let me watch Alien Earth. And man, this is really good. This is really good, like really good space sci-fi. And I love this stuff. And I love this show. And they do a thing in this show where adults are playing children, right? There are children in the bodies of adults. So these adult actors are acting like, preteens.
Right.
And they pull it off because I am annoyed by them.
Fair enough.
But I'm annoyed by them in the way that I think I'm supposed to be annoyed by them.
They're brash and don't take their time on shit.
Right, like they don't like, and it gives the perfect excuse for characters to act stupid. And yeah, this show doesn't skimp on like gore. Right, like it's not like it's not Terrifier gory, right? But like it's not like PG horror. Like they are going for it for a television show. Yeah, man, I'm really impressed with Alien Earth. Can't wait to finish watching or to get caught up. I'm just engrossed into this show.
I was pretty grossed out by a lot of it, if I'm being honest, but in the best of ways. I really, really enjoyed what I've seen. I've seen the first 2 episodes, but it's fun. I like that there are different aliens, right? Like that, and they're all equally as terrifying as facehuggers and xenomorphs, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that introduction of largely, and I've only seen Aliens, Prometheus, whatever the fuck one was after that was also terrible. Covenant, thank you, and then Romulus, which I really enjoyed. I liked the Fede Alvarez one. I would recommend that. I think you would dig that one. That was good. So I've never seen 3 and 4 because everyone has said those are bad. So I haven't seen all of the franchise. I do want to go back and watch them, but in Alien Earth, from my understanding, there's obviously humans, and there are cyborgs, right? That have I got a robot arm or some shit, and then there are synths that are completely robots, but they look like humans. And then I forget what they call these characters in Alien Earth that they introduce, which are synths, but they've downloaded basically the consciousness of these dying children, like you were mentioning, into these bodies, these robotic bodies. So they're not just like automatons that just go and do things. They have real human personalities, but they're children, right? So it's interesting, right? So it makes for some like pretty great television. The violence is definitely there. Like you said, they don't shy away from it. And it looks pretty good. It looks good. So I'm digging it. So, so far so good. So if you haven't watched Alien Earth, it's definitely worth your time. After that, Micah, you and I saw Weapons. This movie was fucking awesome. It's fucking great. I'm going to start running around my neighborhood like that, by the way. Just arms out.
Naruto running all over the place.
Yeah.
This movie, this movie's great. And the less you know about this movie going in, the better.
100%.
It's made by the person that made Barbarian, which again, the less you know about it, the better.
Yeah,
and,
Craig Greggs, I think his name is.
Zach Craig, I think.
I'll find out. I feel like we're doing this person a terrible disservice.
Yeah, let's get his name right, because he's made 2 really good movies. And Weapons is
Zach Kreger.
Zach Kreger. Weapons is a movie about a classroom of children who just kind of go missing. And it invokes feelings of mass shootings in schools, and it is it's an incredibly good mystery. It's gory and violent when it absolutely needs to be. There's a couple of cheap scares. But it's one of those movies that's you gotta see it, man. You gotta see it. I don't want to say too much, man.
When you're watching this movie, you're all in. It pulls you in very quickly. This one is one of those movies that I would categorize as put your goddamn phone down. Like, just put your goddamn phone down and just watch this movie. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you are focused on something else, like, you will miss shit that you shouldn't miss, right? Like, because the way in which the story is told is really fun.
Style. It's told
right,
Rashomon style. So Rashomon is a movie that kind of pioneered the it's called the Rashomon effect, and it is one event told through multiple people's perspectives. Right. And it's really good, man. It's
fun.
Really good. It's a fun movie. It's a good movie. It's a scary movie. By the end of it, you're gonna be cheering by the end of it. But then at the end of it, but the end of it is not like the happiest of endings.
No,
like, it's really good, man. And I can't talk about it without getting into things that you should experience for yourself. So do yourself a favor, even if you don't like scary movies. It's not that bad. Just do yourself a favor and watch this movie. It's probably one of the better movies I've seen this year. It's up there for me. It might be number 1 so far, man. Like, I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, so Weapons is interesting, right? Because, like you talked about, like, the Rashomon style is really fun. And, like, I would suppose that the best way of doing or the best genre for Rashomon style movies are mysteries. Just because you're kind of like, okay, how are you looking at this movie, right? And I think of it like as a pie, and each section, you're like, each person is just a little bit more. You're just kind of filling in the pie, and you're like, oh, that's an interesting perspective. Like, there's a moment in the very first section where you're at a parent, and this is not a spoiler or anything, but you're at like a parent, like back to school night type of thing, but they're addressing that the premise of the movie. Again, this is all in the trailer. The premise of the movie is that these kids all go missing, right? Like as Micah said, and so it's been like a month when the movie really gets started since the disappearances happened, and obviously the parents are still fucking freaking out, and so it's like a back to school night, and you see the teacher. She comes in, and you're kind of seeing it third party, but like kind of from her perspective almost. Third person perspective. Like think of like a Tomb Raider type perspective. And she goes, she's sitting down, and then she goes up to talk and everything else. But when she's sitting down and people, like the principal's up talking to the crowd about like, all right, we know what's going, we're all still concerned about this, and we're just trying to get back into some level of normalcy while the police are doing what they're doing. You see a parent talking, he stands up to ask a question. And he's saying all this shit like, the teacher knows what's going on, we need to fuck, blah, 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 blah. And you can't see him, right? He's fuzzy because he's in the background. Now, you know his voice as a moviegoer. You know that's Josh Brolin, right? You 100%. The second he stood out, I was like, I didn't even know Josh Brolin was in this movie, but I was like, that's clearly Josh Brolin. Like, what the fuck? Like, obviously, he has that voice. I'm like, why is Thanos here? And so you don't know, as like an in the movie sort of person, you don't know that it's him, but as a viewer you do. And then the second cut to the Rashomon style is his perspective, right? So like he's sort of a background character in the first bit, then he becomes the main, and the teacher becomes the background in his, and then another character takes the main spot, and then the other characters become background, and so it paints this dope fucking picture, and all the while that's going on, and you're like super fascinated by it. Then you're also solving you're finding out, you're not solving anything, but you're finding out what the fuck is going on. And as it like the screws get tighter and tighter and tighter, you just get pulled in. You're like, I gotta find out what the fuck is going on. You're like, I thought it was this, but oh shit, maybe it's this. And like, who is this person coming up? And it's like, oh, that has nothing to do with the main story, but it's just an interesting part of the story. I thought it was great. I thought everyone involved in it was great. And to Micah's point, you didn't know you wanted that ending, but you wanted that ending. Like, yeah, absolutely. You wanted that ending, man. And it's just like Barbarian. It takes you on a fucking emotional roller coaster. You're like, ha, that was funny. Oh my God, that's terrifying. That's an interesting choice. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And it all just kind of ties together in this weird high concept horror. This guy he's, as we talked about the last time we were on, this guy is remaking Resident Evil. I can't wait. Holy shit, dude. I can't wait to see what he does. And I'm not saying it's going to be in the style of Weapons, but this guy gets high concept horror. He really, really does. So I'm super excited. This is probably, if it's not my number one movie of the year, like, because I don't unfortunately get a chance to see a lot of movies in the theater these days, it's definitely in my top 2, top 3. I mean, easily. I really had a good time with this. It was fun. Really fun. Yeah,
man. I don't know. It takes a very skilled filmmaker to you as the filmmaker want to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of your audience, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want to be so far ahead that your audience checks out. Right. You don't want your audience to be so far ahead that they can guess the movie and just don't really like, and then they check out, right? Like, you want to be 1 step ahead, and this movie delivers breadcrumbs and does things that will clue you in as to what's going on without saying it. And when you go, like, it's primed for like a rewatch.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, it's primed for a rewatch, and not in like a M. Night Shyamalan way where it's like, here's one big twist at the end. Did you see it coming throughout the thing? No, like, this movie is, it's a mystery. Mm-hmm. It's a mystery in the vein of like a Rian Johnson, like, Knives Out movie, mm-hmm. where it's like, oh, okay, like, oh, well, this was that, and that makes sense, right? Like, it's really good, man. It's really good. It's up there for me, man. I can't speak highly enough about this movie. Believe the hype. It made like $200 million in the box office.
No shit, really? Wow.
Yeah, it cost like $40 million to make. So this guy's gonna be getting movies. Whatever he wants to do, he's gonna be able to do.
Yeah. I like I've long said on this show that I am a gigantic coward when it comes to horror movies. But what I will tell you is I love a good high concept horror movie. I do, just because they're fun. Because I find a lot of horror movies is like scary guy in the closet, stab, 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 or ooh, there's ghost or whatever. Like that shit doesn't really do anything for me. Also, like scared.
I don't like jump scares, and there's a couple jump scares in this movie, but I don't
you see them coming.
Yeah,
and I'm still like, god damn it! It's like, you know what? Like, all right, it worked, and it doesn't feel egregious.
They're not cheap,
right?
And,
but yeah, and there's also some shit that happens. You're like, Jesus Christ, please stop, for the love of God, please stop doing that. So yeah, it introduces some really fun concepts and some really fun characters. So yeah, weapons, fucking no notes. It was just really a good time, really good time. All right, we both watched the first episode of the new season of Peacemaker. Again, no notes. I really liked it. There is a theory going around which we are 100% going to discuss. So if you have not seen Peacemaker, the first season, what's wrong with you? 2, or the first episode, you should. What do you think of this first episode so far?
Peacemaker is one of those shows that's like, do I want to like the first season I watched because I like John Cena. Right? I'm a wrestling fan. I like John Cena. I'll check out something that John Cena's in. I watched Heads of State because I like John Cena.
Wow, yeah, you really like John Cena. That's apparently
not a bad movie, but like, it's better than any Netflix. It's better than like Heart of Stone or Red Notice or whatever, right? But but I like John Cena, so I watched the first Peacemaker season 1, and I actually really enjoyed it. And this is really good. Like Peacemaker is a compelling character, and I can't believe I'm saying that, right? But he 100% is. He is genuinely a good dude that's trying his best to do good things, but is kind of a fuck up.
Right. He's just kind of a dumbass.
Yeah, he's just kind of a dumb, he's just a big dumb guy, but like he's lovable and he's, eat peace, motherfucker, right? Like, but he's genuine, right?
Yeah, he's a real person.
No, right. And he's had to do some fucked up things, right? And he has a found family. And I feel like that's going to be tested this season. Mm-hmm. Because he is in a very low place, and when you try to do good but you keep failing, at some point he's just like, I just want to be happy, right? Like he wants
where life is easy,
right? Where life is easy, and this show, the idea of different parallel universes was introduced briefly in season 1, and they expound upon that in season 2. And in the first episode, we see that he enters a parallel universe where his brother, who he accidentally killed, is alive. His father, who he had to murder, is alive. And the girl that he likes, Hardcourt, is, there's possibility of them two like being in a relationship. And he's like, this is kind of dope, right? But he has to deal with the fact that there is another Peacemaker in that world, right? Mm-hmm. And then the events of the show play out, and it ends in a very, very intriguing way, where I'm very anxious to see how James Gunn proceeds. I think I know, right? Like you think but it's not one of those things where it's I think I know and therefore I don't want to watch. It's one of those things where it's like I think I know and I can't wait to see what he does.
Right. Yeah. So you want to talk about so now we're going to get into spoiler theory territory.
Yeah, theory crafting, right? Like so our Peacemaker goes into this parallel world, and his brother's alive, right? And he loves his brother, man. He absolutely loves his brother. His dad is there. His dad is you know, in
remember he killed his brother when he was a kid by mistake.
Yeah, he killed his brother when he was a kid by accident, right? Because their father made them fight, right? And his father is fucking a bigot and a racist, and he's the worst. He's a Klansman, right? He's a superhero Klansman. Like, he's the worst type of person, right? And so he goes, and his father hates him in his regular world, right? So Peacemaker goes into this parallel world where his dad loves him and is happy to see him, where his brother is alive, and things are just kind of going good. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that we are made to think that, like, this parallel world is just like our world, except it's good for Chris. That's Peacemaker's name. Right. But the idea is that the theory is that this parallel world is actually like Earth X, right? The Nazi Superman world, right? Mm-hmm. Where the Nazis won and their ideology is what leads the world, right? So it's not that Peacemaker's dad is not a Nazi in this world. It's that Nazis are everywhere, and, you know, it's just the way the world is. Right. And that's super intriguing, man, especially from, you know, a guy like James Gunn, who's like,
Nazis.
He wears his politics on his sleeve, man. He could try to, like, deny it or whatever. Oh, I wrote Superman. I wrote Superman way before. Wink, wink, right? Like, okay, we know what you're doing, right? And
I'm fine.
But he's straight up is like, fuck Nazis, right? Like, we can all get behind fuck Nazis.
Right, like, who's upset by this? Nazis are upset by this. That's
right. Right. So the prevailing theory is that, you know, this world is Earth X, right? And it's this Nazi world. And when I first thought this might be the case, just because, like, it's an obvious twist, right? But what solidified it for me was when they referenced where they thought Chris was, they said, oh, I thought you were in Bloodhaven, right? Nobody calls Bloodhaven Bloodhaven. Right? Like, it's a very distinct and deliberate German way of saying Bloodhaven. And I'm like, and they say it multiple times. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's not an accident. So yeah, man, that's the prevailing theory. That's the theory that
I love it.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it, because what's going to happen is that one of Chris's best friends, is a black woman, Amanda Waller's daughter. I forget the character's name. Adebayo. And what's going to happen? And Chris is going to go into this world, and he's going to realize that he's got everything he wants, right? But, like, your friends can't let you. His friends aren't going to let him become a fucking Nazi, because, like, friends don't let friends become Nazis. And so they're going to have to go in there and get him. And Chris is going to have to decide, does he want everything that he ever wanted while being one of the most evil, a part of the most evil group in the history of the world, right? Right. Or will he be true to his friends? And that's what's going to be the interesting thing. And look, you think you know, oh, Chris is obviously going to go back with his friends, right? But, like, happiness and getting everything you want, like, people will do things. Right. People will put all their morals and stuff aside if it means they can live a cushy life. DJ Khaled.
Right. Right. I mean, do I think at the end of the season he's like, I'm a Nazi now? No, obviously not, right? But do I think that they're going to be like, hey, man, these are Nazis, and he's going to be like, I mean, like, I don't believe in that. Like, I think there's going to be this conflict, right?
Right. But do you want to live in that world, right? Like, you are complicit if you live in that world. If you don't, you know, I'm very curious. Because he's going to be like Trump came out and said, well, people don't like dictators, but like they also said I made everybody safe. So, maybe I'll be a dictator and make everybody safe. I'm paraphrasing, right?
No, to paraphrase, what he actually said was, some people like dictators. I'm not a dictator, but some people like dictators, which is somehow fucking worse, by the way.
He's trying to fucking normalize that shit, man.
He's
trying to normalize it. And because there will be people out there that say, well, I'm safe. I don't mind giving up, any type of freedom as long as I'm safe. And that's not fucking America, but okay.
Well, in some parts of America, they've all they're like,
that's not the idea of America, right?
No, it's not. I don't have my Captain America shield to point to, but yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, this is why having someone like Gunn writing this is important. Because, yeah, you could just have him go to a parallel universe and it's like crazy and everything is like, he fights some people and he, comes back to his universe and that's the end of the season. But to challenge, and the funny thing is, I think Cena's really, I think people maybe before Peacemaker really underestimated how much he can pull a fucking performance. Like, he really can. And he pulled some pretty great moments in that first season, even though it's all very silly in a lot of ways. But there are some pretty serious dark moments that he like really kind of digs in into that character. So I think it'll be interesting. I think this is the first opportunity. I'm sure it will not be the last, but this is the first opportunity to do something that I think people have been kind of waiting for. Like, there's obviously a mixture of, like, Peacemaker was in Superman, right? He had a moment in Superman. You get the Justice Gang replaces the Justice League in that scene that they play back in this first episode. There are people like, well, are there multiple dimensions? Like, no, dummy. They just swapped it because this isn't just new universe. Like, don't think of it that way. Like, it's just not that serious. So there are that aspects, right? So they played back and forth. You saw Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner in this first episode and everything else. What we have not seen is the very first thing that's kicked off the DCU, which is any characters from, Rick Flag Sr. you've seen, but nobody else from Creature Commandos. If this is Universe X or what have you, this is a prime. This is prime to bring in G.I. Robot. This is prime for that. Like, he's literally a robot who loves killing Nazis. That's his entire directive. So can you imagine a moment where, like, you're going to need a multicultural team, right? Gunn loves a fucking team of crazy people going in and doing massive amounts of fucking violence. Like, he loves that shit. I can totally see a scenario where Rick Flag Sr. is chasing after Chris, because that's what the plot of this season is, right? Trying to figure out what the fuck that guy's problem is since he killed his son. Maybe Rick Flag Jr. is still alive, right? I could totally see that.
What I'm thinking. Yeah.
In this universe, right? Being kind of like where his father is, like him being the equivalent of his dad.
Leading the resistance.
I could totally see that, right? Or not, by the way. I mean, but it would be kind of cool if he is leading the resistance, for my theory coming up, which is, okay, you have him, and then you have characters, like you have Rick Flag Sr. from the regular DCU. They have access to G.I. Robot. He exists, but he's been shut down or whatever. They have access to him. They send G.I. Robot into this world. They take him with them to go find Chris and figure out what the fuck's going on in this world. G.I. Robot is like, the fuck is going on? Like, that's what a Nazi would say. And he teams up with the Resistance, or they have their own G.I. Robot, however you want to play it. And they team up with Rick Flag Sr., our Peacemaker, Adebayo, fucking Economos, Vigilante, Harcourt from the regular universe. She's got to beat up her own fucking clone or whatever the fuck. Could be really fun. They all team up, and maybe you get some other characters, and they team up and they kill a bunch of fucking Nazis. And then thus tying Creature Commandos to Peacemaker as well. I could totally see it. Like, this season is prime for G.I. Robot. I would be shocked if he does not make an appearance.
I mean, it would be an incredible fumble if you don't bring in G.I. Robot. If this is the actual, like, Nazi universe, it would be an incredible fumble. to not bring in that incredibly fan favorite character. That character is a meme, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
and
more and more each day.
And Gunn has his ear to the ground when it comes to some of this stuff. Sometimes a little too close to the ground. Like, you don't have to answer every stupid fucking question that
fuck these people
brings up.
Although I do enjoy it when people are like, "This is a thing that's happening." He's like, "No, it isn't. Shut up." And they're like, "Oh, all right." I do enjoy that. That's kind of fun. But yeah, I agree. You don't have to answer every response or every question.
Oh man. So yeah. Peacemaker, new episode is up, I think today as we record, so can't wait to watch it. Yeah,
I'll be watching that tonight. Okay, I have changed locations now. All right, next up, your topics.
Oscar winner Nicolas Cage is in talks to headline the upcoming 5th season of HBO's Emmy-winning crime anthology series True Detective, which marks the return of season 4's Issa Lopez as the writer-showrunner. Deadline revealed earlier this year that the new installment will be set in New York and Jamaica Bay, per HBO's head of drama series and film, Francesca Orsi. Cage is in talks to land the lead role of Henry Logan, a New York detective on the case at the center of the new season. The actor has been circling the part for a while. It is unclear whether the deal will close. Another Oscar winner, Jodie Foster, who also took a long time to make her deal for True Detective season 4, Night Country. Look, I'ma watch it. Like, as much as, like, I think True Detective season 4 started off really well, and then kind of got very,
dumb,
video gamey a bit.
I hated this. I hated the ending.
Look, man, it's got Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage. If he's in it, I'ma watch it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch the shit out of it. What the fuck? Of course.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, man. Like, I wish it was in a different location than New York, because like everything takes place in New York. Like, I know, True Detective hasn't taken place in New York, but like everything takes place in New York. Like, one of the interesting things was that it took place in like Louisiana, and I know season 2 took place in like LA or something like that.
Yeah.
But where did season 3 take place? I can't remember.
Which one is season 3?
That was the one with Mahershala Ali.
I don't feels like
anything from that season.
No, I don't either. I feel like that also took place in the South. I'll have to look, but I did not care for that season either. I was just like, that's cool. Like, you got it. Like, and I wanted to care just because I really like him and I thought he would have fucking crushed it. I just didn't feel like it was that fucking interesting.
Took place in the Ozarks.
Cool.
The problem is that like Ozark was out, and I think Ozark is a better show than True Detective season 3.
It was.
But look, man. As much as I didn't really care for the ending of True Detective season 4, you throw Nicolas Cage in something, I'm gonna check it out, and I'm probably gonna see it through because I'm a Nicolas Cage fan.
Yeah, look, here's what I would say. To your point, season 4 started out super good. The idea of doing these seasons in like a desolate place works really well for the mystery, right? Like, not having that many people around. And it just being like real quiet for no goddamn reason. It's creepy as shit. Like, even during the day, it's just creepy, right? The first season, you're like, it's like 7 people in this whole little shit town in the middle of goddamn nowhere, Louisiana. That's creepy. It's weird. Why aren't there's too much open space, right? Season 4 was the same thing. You're in Alaska, there's like 9 people there, right? The weather is weird, and that leads its own creepiness, right? So all of that worked. What I don't want in a True Detective show or season I don't need any supernatural anything. I don't like that. It's unnecessary. I liked season 1 was just like a creepy dude who just killed people. Like that worked better. Like just make it weird people, right? So I'm hoping that they get away from the supernatural shit. I don't want any of that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think Issa Lopez is interesting. I know it pissed off Nick Palazzo or Pagliazzo or whatever that dude's name is. He hated it. Like he tweeted the whole thing.
Yeah, which is an obnoxious way to behave as an artist in my opinion.
But
like, bro, you didn't fucking nail everything you worked on either. Like, knock it off.
I mean, but yeah, man, like, all right, like if you got something to say, like I feel like season 4, the thing that it had to say was about like just in the lives of indigenous people and the fact that like nobody gives a shit about them.
Correct.
So if you have something to say, I'm all for it. Like, bring it on. As long as you bring in Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would like put on like some sort of weird New York accent.
Look, the weirder the better for me. Like just let him. Look, he's a ridiculous person, but he's putting his all into it, right? Like he's not bullshitting you. He's putting his all.
Yeah, man. Like, when I say I'm a fan, I'm not like I'm an unironic fan, man. Like because that guy, he swing. When he swings, he's swinging for home runs.
Only. Like
right,
that's it.
That's it, man. Like you throw that ball at him, he gonna swing at it, and you better hope that you change it up on him, because if he hits, he gonna hit.
That's the thing. It's like, I know it's super easy to be like, Nicolas Cage sucks. Look at all these like bad movies. I agree, right? Like I agree. There's way more misses than hits, but when he hits, it's really remarkable shit. Because I mean, I don't know if people saw that movie Pig. That movie was fucking excellent. That was excellent. It wasn't 30 years ago.
You know what else was really good? Dream Scenario.
I heard so too.
And look, he's being very much Nicolas Cage, right? He's got a bald wig on, right? Like he's speaking in a very weird way. Like but he makes that, he's turning into a character, man.
Right.
And yeah, man, like don't forget, like that dude can act, man. That dude can act. So yes, I am unironically excited that Nicolas Cage is going to be in A True Detective.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
As weird as season 4 got, Jodie Foster wasn't the problem, right?
No,
her co-star wasn't the problem at all. Right? It was just the way, the direction that the story went. So we'll see.
Yeah, I want another. I don't need a copy of season 1, but I want a season that draws me in as much as season 1 did. And I was almost there with season 4, but then it just started falling apart. So I'm hoping they can sort of everyone roots for this show because they want to recapture that magic that was season 1. It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
K-pop Demon Hunters is the biggest movie in Netflix history. Have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Oh, it's funny you didn't put that on the what we were watching section.
I didn't. I did not. I didn't. No. Yeah, it's cool. All right. Here's the thing. I'm not mad at this movie. I'm not mad at its success. I love that it's a great success story. If you're watching my face, and the reason why I look so miserable is because I've had to listen to the soundtrack 1.5 million times. And if I have to hear Takedown one more time, I'm going to kill myself. But yeah, it's very Korean. The animation style is actually very cool. It's mean, if you like K-pop music, like it's a big. I mean, the soundtrack is just. I mean, they're made up K-pop bands, but it's like real K-pop music. So if you're like Tiara and you love K-pop because there's something wrong with you, then yeah, you'll fucking dig it. So apparently, Sony sold this to Netflix for $20 million.
Sony produced the movie.
Back.
They
keep going.
Sony made the movie and ended up selling it to Netflix because they didn't really have any faith in it, right? They were like, well, you know, is anybody going to want to watch this? Let's just give it to Netflix and have a quick payday or whatever, right? And it turns out it's the biggest movie in the history of Netflix, dethroning. It's been viewed 236 million times, dethroning Red Notice. So you know what that means. Get ready for The Rock to be a K-pop demon hunter at some point. Because he's going to want that title back.
What it is, I don't know if it'll be a K-pop anything, but The Rock is doing an animated movie for Netflix, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
He's got like two or three daughters. Like, he'll just tap them. Like, what do you like? What's good? J-pop devil killers.
Yeah, it's like cool. I can't wait to never watch this. Yeah, I mean, look. So good on them. I don't know how much money that makes Netflix. I don't really know how their revenue streaming works. I honestly don't know how they make money. But yeah, being the biggest movie in Netflix history is kind of a big deal.
So they put the movie out in theaters as a sing-along.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see the sing-along thing. I did see that.
Yeah, they put it out in theaters as a sing-along because, I don't know, for award season or whatever, but they realized, like, holy shit, like, we are leaving money on the table. Let's get this thing out into theaters and see if we can make some more money. Yeah. Which, honestly, I don't know why they don't. It's not a bad idea. I don't know why they don't do it for... Like, I don't know why they wouldn't have done it for something like Red Notice, right? Like, that movie starred The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot, right? Three of the biggest movie stars at the time, at least. And I don't know why they don't do this, you know, to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
Netflix doesn't really believe in anything until it gets like tons of views, right?
Right, it's got to get 1 billion views in and of itself. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't see even a mediocre movie starring those three big names was going to do kind of big numbers, but I don't know. If I'm Netflix on some of these things, like their benefit is that they have the algorithm, right? They have all of this data that shows like this is what movies with The Rock make, this is what movies with Ryan Reynolds does for views, this is what Gal Gadot's movies do for numbers. Let's kind of pair this up. What do we think? Blah blah blah. This is the type of movie it is, the genre, these budgets. Yeah, like you could make an informed calculation of like, okay, this movie is probably going to make $700 million, and I'm just throwing that number out there, right? It's going to make $700 million. So while we are going to put it on streaming, maybe we throw this into the theater for a couple of weeks and see what kind of response we get, and then in 30 days we throw it on streaming. I don't understand. They have that ability. I don't understand why they don't do that.
And I know we're like making it seem easy. I'm sure there's a lot of like logistical hurdles that you have to go through, but like
I'm sure distribution and that's all that, of course,
right. But like that's your job as a movie studio to figure out, right?
Correct.
Like especially if all you want to do is maximize profit.
Correct.
I don't. I don't know. All I know is I will never ever let my son watch K-pop Demon Hunters for the same reason that you wish you hadn't let your child watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, don't do it.
I don't want it playing in the house 24/7.
Yeah, don't do it. Like let my life be a cautionary tale. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm good on that. So I'm just waiting for whatever whatever the new thing is, so we can just slide to that soundtrack. So then I'll hate that equally as much. But it's well-produced music, I will say that, if that's your thing. It is not mine. Speaking of things I don't like, Bryan Singer is trying to make a comeback. Look, there are many reasons.
Bryan Singer was like
a person,
thing. And he directed like X-Men and Superman. Like he was a big deal, man.
Yeah, he was. Turns out there are many reasons to dislike Bryan Singer. Some of them are because of the things he makes. Others are just his personal behaviors. I say why choose? And so, look, I loved X-Men 1. X-Men 2 was fine. I wasn't going crazy about it. So I guess
wow, really? That's the one that everybody loves.
The funny thing is, like, going back, there's something about that movie that like doesn't work for me in hindsight. At the time, I loved it more than the first one, but I think I actually like the first one more. And look, there are moments in the second movie that are super, super dope. Like Wolverine going berserk or whatever in the school, that was dope as fuck. Like the Nightcrawler scene, dope. Like inarguably very, very cool scenes. But the plot and everything in that movie, I don't think I liked as much. But either way, I thought he hit two home runs with the first two movies. After that, disagree. Did not care for anything else he did as far as the X-Men franchise at fucking all. So I didn't care for that. His Superman movie was bad. I don't think that's arguable, but like.
I don't think his Superman movie was bad. I think it was trying a little too hard to be referential to the Christopher Reeve movie instead of making his own thing.
Well, it was supposed to be a sequel, a direct sequel, which was a mistake.
It should have been its own thing. Like
I agree with
that. Just do you, right? And Brandon Routh, he's kind of like the George Lazenby of Superman. George Lazenby is the James Bond that nobody remembers, right? But actually was in a really good movie and did a very good job. Like the problem is like he was sandwiched between two legendary actors, and but I think Superman Returns is better than most people remember. It just should have been its own thing. Like you can't have Kevin Spacey trying to be Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, right? Yeah,
he should have been his own. Like that was one of my biggest disappointments with that movie is that I thought Spacey could have been really, really great. Turns out, Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey got a lot in common.
Cut from the same cloth.
Disgusting cloth. Sounds like it's thundering. So, yeah, Singer's trying to make a comeback after he was, what I would argue, seemingly credibly accused of some sexual behaviors for actors and stuff like that. Underage actors, by the way, on movies like his movie Apt Pupil, which was back in 1997 when he had two teenagers stripped naked for him. Again, they were teenage boys. And then in 2019, during the Me Too era, people kind of came after him, like basically kind of trading or offering to trade sexual favors for roles, if I recall. There was quite a bit. So I'm not exactly I'm not a big Singer fan, period, as a filmmaker, but certainly when all that stuff came out, I was like, I'm super good on you not ever being around. So he's apparently making a movie with Jon Voight about driving around in Jon Voight's car, I assume. No, but it's a movie about the
about Israeli occupation of Lebanon.
Yeah, I'm like, read the room, my man. Read the room. Probably not. I don't necessarily trust
these filmmakers or these two names with anything that is geopolitical.
No, John Voight is a really rabid, idiotic conservative, and Bryan Singer. I don't know what his politics are, but if John Voight is involved, it tells me the type of movie it is. So no thanks. Is that fair? It's fair to me. I don't know if it's fair to him. I don't care if it's fair to him. I'm not seeing it. They're saying, oh, this may be, really, award seeking and even good enough to be award winning. I don't care. There are plenty of other great films. I'm not going to watch. Again, I'm not watching any geopolitical film that John Voight has put his name on. Get the entire fuck out of here. Absolutely not. Hey, Donald Trump thinks he can talk about Israel. It would be the same thing for me. Like, they're both fucking absolutely ridiculous. So, no thanks for that. But it'll be interesting to see if Hollywood's like, well, I think you've served your time in exile for touching or trying to, fuck little boys. So why don't you come on back? Not interested. No thanks. So.
Yeah, it's odd because certain people, it's easier for them to come back, but it's usually there's certain things that are a little too egregious to come back from.
I feel like this should be one of them.
This
definitely should be one. Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm not enough of a fan of his work that I would be like, well, maybe no. So this is a win-win for me that he lose as far as I'm concerned. Like, I could give a shit.
I'm looking at his filmography. I think, and I'm not here to shit on the guy. Like, I like some of those X-Men movies.
I'm here for that. Like,
I don't hate Days of Future Past, and
I do not like that movie. I do not care for it.
I don't hate. Well, he got fired from Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know why that's up there. And I don't hate Superman Returns. I think he kind of peaked at The Usual Suspects, man. And I think he kind of peaked at The Usual Suspects. I haven't seen it in 30 years.
It's a good movie.
But,
it's a good movie.
I remember it being a good movie, and I remember everybody I remember that movie that being one of the movies that fooled everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean, to be Kaiser Sose was a thing, right? It was just like, spoiler alert for folks, from 1995, right? Like, The Usual Suspects is a good movie. At Pupil is a good movie. X-Men is a good movie. Star Trek Nemesis is a movie. X2 is a good movie. Superman Returns is not. And then
he didn't direct Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh yeah, he was. What did he write or no? He was a producer on that. He's just in it. Okay. I forget who wrote Star Trek Nemesis. Directed by Stuart Baird. That was not a good movie. So Superman Returns, I didn't care for. Valkyrie, I didn't have any interest in. Jack the Giant Slayer, that was pretty bad. X-Men Days of Future Past, I shouldn't say it's bad. I just didn't care for it.
Yeah, I didn't hate that movie. I especially coming off of the very overrated First Class.
Ugh, I legitimately do not like that movie.
Yeah, I think First Class is incredibly overrated.
Yes.
But I don't mind Days of Future Past. I didn't bother with Apocalypse because
that movie is horrible. That's a terrible movie. Legitimately a terrible movie.
So for me, this guy's got slightly more misses than hits, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind some of his movies, but at the same time, I don't. I don't. If they're gonna treat art like a product, I'm gonna treat them like a product. I don't care if they make another movie again. It's fine.
Yep, and don't give him any space. He was also removed from production and credits amid sexual assault allegations for Dark Phoenix too, X-Men Dark Phoenix, and that was a piece of shit too. That was a fucking turd. And that was directed by Simon Kinberg. Cool. Another. That, what was it? Greg Orsi and Alex Lutzman and Simon Kinberg, they were all doing a lot of the samey type of action movies all around that like 20 teens, and they were all very generic and bad. I think Orsi just passed away, so not to slam him or anything, but they were just not very good movies. Next up, Noah Centineo is attached to play John Rambo in a prequel movie called John Rambo. He is going to be playing a younger John Rambo. Obviously, the role made famous by Sylvester Stallone and then driven into the ground by Sylvester Stallone. The first Rambo movie is based on David Morrell's 1972 novel First Blood, about a troubled Vietnam War veteran and former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier who is an expert in weaponry, hand-to-hand combat, and guerrilla warfare. The 5-film franchise consisted of First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, that's a stupid title, Rambo 3, Rambo, and Rambo Last Blood, which has grossed over $800 million worldwide. Is this going to be in Vietnam? Like, is that where this is going to be based?
I would imagine that this is going to be, well, they say prequel, but I think this would be like no, you kind of have to do this. You have to do this in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, like, that's where he gets fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know if this would necessarily translate to a modern day like reboot, right? And they specifically said prequel, so yeah, I guess it's gonna be, Vietnam. Rambo took place.
That's a bold choice.
Rambo took place right after the war, right? Like he was already a vet, and he was
coming home.
So this would be like Platoon, right?
Well, Platoon was this prequel. Yeah, it would be like Platoon. Yes.
All right.
That's a bold choice. That's a bold choice, and I'm not mad at that. But that's a bold choice, considering that the first movie, and by the way, I don't suspect they will give much of a thought about the first movie, which is unfortunate. But First Blood is not an
action movie.
Yeah, it's not like a badass action movie. Like, this is not Rambo 3, right? Or like he's lost out there, he's got to like get a machine gun and take on a bunch of enemies. That's not what that movie is about. It's about severe PTSD and being kind of taken advantage of by this like Keystone cops in this small town, and then just like all of his training kind of kicks back in, and he's got to survive. It's messed up. There's not a high body count in that movie or anything. He gets messed up going to Vietnam, and so when he comes home, he is suffering. There's a real story in First Blood. I don't trust that they're not just going to go Rambo 3 with this and just throw this young kid into Vietnam and it's like, kill them all, bro, and that's just how he's going to be. That seems a little odd to me.
I would hope that if you're going to do a movie about Vietnam, that you would, because that's a sticky wicket. Like,
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Like, I would hope that you would approach this with a little bit of gravitas and a little bit more like,
right.
This should be more of a psychological, like, hey, I'm joining the military and I'm gonna fight for my country, and like the horrors of war have changed me.
Yeah, like you're doing. All right, I'm gonna be quite honest here, and this is where I don't trust. This is Millennium Media. They're not really known for sort of heavy lifting on like, super heavy movies. I'm not saying they don't make good movies. I'm not saying that, but this is a movie about a person getting traumatic PTSD. This is not a movie that's like run and gun, have a good time. Can there be action sequences? Of course. There has to be. It's in Vietnam. But I don't feel like it should be fun. I feel like it should feel tragic and horrible. And guess what? We don't really do movies like that anymore. Of like the horrors of war? Not really. I mean, I haven't seen it because I don't really support him. But from my understanding, like the closest you get, and it gets exploitive from all reviews that I've heard, is like Hacksaw Ridge by Mel Gibson. Like, there's not a lot of movies that really go, all right, this is a serious thing. We got to really lean into this and take our time. And it's not really the type of movies that people go see when it comes to like war movies, a war picture, as you would say.
I don't know. Maybe they see something in the guy that's playing Ken in the new Street Fighter movie that they think, oh well, this is this guy's Oscar movie.
Yeah, that Street Fighter movie has got Andrew Schultz playing Hibiki in it.
And playing Dan Hibiki, guys. Andrew Schultz is playing Dan Hibiki.
The only person Andrew Schultz should play in a movie is Waluigi. I will accept that, but I will accept nothing else.
Oh man, look. To this guy's credit, he got ripped to play Ken in Street Fighter, and maybe this is his. Maybe he's getting his Rambo body. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Maybe he's. I'm very curious about this. I'm very curious to see how they approach this. I kind of want them to do more of a psychological drama. I would not be surprised if you are correct and that they just make a Rambo movie. Because, like, when you think Rambo...
Right, this is...
Yeah,
I mean,
that's easy as breathing.
Right,
that's
right.
What you think.
Now, in fairness, Rambo 4 was insane, right? I will grant you. However, when you watch that movie, it's not fun. It's really messed up. And if you're going to do this non-movie, you got to make a movie like that, except for your protagonist isn't just a killing robot at that point. He is a young kid who gets messed up from the things he sees. So you actually have to make Rambo into a character we've never seen before, which is really a sympathetic person who goes through real pain. As we've seen him since First Blood, he's just so emotionally shut off. You're just like, this guy is just a beast, right? And you're like, oh, well, that guy's sad, obviously. But also he'll, like, reach into a man's chest and rip their heart out. They did that in Rambo 5.
He did the Kano fatality in Rambo 5, guys.
That's right. But, which is insane, right? But when people, like, to your point, when people think about Rambo, they don't think about, hey, nice kid gets taken advantage of by the, military-industrial complex and is scarred permanently for life and then is used as a weapon for the U.S. government's enjoyment. No, they think about, like, shoot Rambo with a right, like with a giant like M50 or whatever it is shooting down helicopters against John Kreese from Cobra Kai. Like, that's what they think about. So I just don't see how this is going to work. But look, I would love to be proven wrong. I'm not going to say that this movie is going to absolutely be that, but I'm going in at 90% sure that they're going to just make a Rambo 3 type movie. Which I get from a financial perspective, but it doesn't make sense for the prequel. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see. Oh boy. All right. So no what the fuck stories this week. Right into trailers. Man, a lot of Nazis on this episode. Trailer 1 is Nuremberg, which is a movie about the Nuremberg trials and putting one of the Nazis' like main dudes after Hitler dies on trial, who is played by Russell Crowe. I like a comeback story for Russell Crowe because I feel like people have forgotten that dude is a real actor. So I'd love to see it. This looks good. With Rami Malek.
Yeah, he looks like a smug asshole in this. he's got it right. Like he's got it. This looks really, really interesting. Yeah, Russell Crowe is a really good actor. I'm very curious to see. Yeah, he absolutely. For Unhinged, right?
That's a great movie.
Look, this looks really good. This looks really good. So,
yeah, let's see it. I can't wait for them to make a movie like this in a couple of years about the last couple of years. And we can watch Rami Malek's son play a prosecutor. That would be fun. This looks great. Look, you should never ever, as a rule of thumb, never sleep on a Michael Shannon performance, because he's also in this, and that dude doesn't do anything but give 100%. So I'm looking forward to this. This should be fun.
Even in movies about bike messengers, he will give it his all.
For some random reason. Like, why? But like that's what that dude does. So yeah, Russell Crowe, award winner, Rami Malek, Academy Award winner as well. Michael Shannon, Academy Award nominee. Yeah. This is going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that. And if you ask yourself, hey man, do we really need a movie about Nazis going on trial in Nuremberg in 2025? I would ask you, the fact that you have to ask that question tells me that we absolutely need it. So, next up is a Apple original film called All of You, starring everyone's favorite soccer player, Brett Goldstein, and a woman with an unfortunate last name, Imogen Poots, who is adorable in everything I've ever seen her in. This is Apple really is doing really fun stuff with like high concept sci-fi, like even from traditional sci-fi to stuff like this. So the idea of this movie is in a future where you can just take a test and find out who your soulmate is. These two best friends who clearly have a thing for each other, but never connected. Imogen Poots' character decides to go take this test, and she ends up with this guy who is supposed to be her soulmate. And the tests are correct, right? Like, everyone who takes it finds their soulmate and live perfectly happy lives. Once she takes the test, it's Brett Goldstein is just kind of like, I'm not going to take the test. And, it's kind of like, would it be her on his answer? We don't know. Like, she kind of seems to regret maybe taking the test and being with this guy. So, yeah, it's interesting. What are your thoughts?
It seems interesting. I don't know if it's interesting enough that I will watch it. I got to be in, like, the right headspace with my wife to watch this.
Sure.
This isn't something that I would just, like, let me just turn this on and get into my romantic comedy bag, because it's very, like, it seems a little too tropey, like down to like the two star-crossed lovers seeing each other in the distance while it's raining. And
hey man, that could happen. That could happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's raining. Like, you don't know.
It can happen, and it can happen a lot, which is why it's a trope. Which is why I don't necessarily need to see it again. But look, that's fine. It does look good. It does look good. Like, if you're going to do one of these movies, like, do it well, and it does look like it's going to be well done.
Look, there's a single second in this trailer that tells me everything I need to know about this movie, and while I will watch it. At exactly 1 minute and 11 seconds into the trailer, there's text that comes up and says, quote, "A decades-spanning When Harry Met Sally style story." Done. Okay, it's my favorite movie of all. Yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time. Like, I don't. You had me at 8 decades. Okay, like, done. So no, I think this looks really good. I like to see Brett Goldstein kind of get out of the character from Ted Lasso. That should be kind of fun. So, and I've seen Imogen Poots and other things. I really like her as an actress. So, yeah. I'm
Brett Goldstein. He was in Shrinking.
Is he in the newer season?
Yeah, he played the guy that killed what's his name's wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that show's really good, man. Like, if you need another, like, the fact that show is not getting the Ted Lasso love, it amazes me.
Yeah, well, everybody is incredibly negative these days, and I think that's a big part of that.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, which is I'm interested when Ted Lasso comes back. Do we get like screw that show, or do people like I miss it? I miss the fact that things are nice.
Yeah.
I hope so. Last but certainly not least in trailers, Is This Thing On, which is a comedy of sorts, or not a comedy, but a sort of comedy drama of sorts.
Drama with comedic elements in it.
A dramedy. This is a new movie by Bradley Cooper, starring Will Arnett and Laura Dern. Quote, as their marriage quietly unravels, Alex, played by Will Arnett, faces middle age and an impending divorce, seeking new purpose in the New York comedy scene, while Tess, Laura Dern, confronts the sacrifice she made for their family, forcing them to navigate co-parenting, identity, and whether love can take a new form. I love Will Arnett. I think he's great. One of the greatest Batman voices of all time. I think Laura Dern is an excellent actress as well. I'm here for this, but I'm also here for it being a new Bradley Cooper movie, and that guy is a stellar director. So I think he can pull some good performances.
I think he is. I think Will Arnett is slightly underrated.
I think so.
I think because he, most people know him from comedy. He's been kind of pigeonholed into that, and I think that Bradley Cooper recognizes that, and that's why they're going to play off of that, and that he is going to be a guy who gets up there and starts doing a little bit of stand-up as therapy.
Yep.
Trading on the idea that Will Arnett, the person, is a funny guy, but letting him flex his acting muscles. And yeah, man, look, A Star Is Born is one of my favorite movies.
It's an excellent film.
It really is. And Bradley Cooper is one of those directors that, because he's a good actor, he knows how to talk to actors and to how to pull the performance that he wants out of them. Some directors are just like, do it again but faster, right? Very famously a George Lucas like direction, right? Do it again but faster. And that gives you a certain type of movie, right?
Right.
But there's some behind the scenes of Superman, the latest Superman, where you see James Gunn and David Cornsweet in a heated discussion about about a scene and what Superman would do, and they each have their own viewpoint, and James Gunn is like I hear you, but like then he explains his point, and they go back and forth and collaborating. It's really, really interesting to see that type of collaboration, like to see how the sausage gets made
in real time.
Yeah, right. From a performance standpoint, right there on set in real time. So, and I think Bradley Cooper is that type of director. So, yeah, I'm all about this, man. This looks great.
Yeah, I agree. And look, sometimes you're going to get that George Lucas direction. You should listen to it when you're told that. Just saying. Just saying. Like, okay, we'll do. Yeah, so I think that looks really good. I'm always interested in a Bradley Cooper film ever since his first one. It's just unbelievable performance, and he's also in this too, which should be fun. So. All right, that's it for us. Look, I'm not back in my office. I just found out that my office is back to normal now, so I have to go record Look Forward in a couple of hours. So I will be back. So everything should be normal now. I'm back in town. Audio will be different than it is here, so if it sounds a little off, I apologize for this episode. But going forward, we are back in the zone. So, all right, we will see you guys next week.
See you.